This video is a video I wanted to do about what I've seen some of these so-called some black women talking about. Black women in America. I just want to make this video about black women, why they're going to end up into their 50s single, why many black women are going to end up they're going to enter into their 40s and 50s single. Black women have been fooled over the years, and some of these so-called preachers and talk show hosts like Steve, telling women that think like a man, act like a lady and think like a man. What kind of stupid statement is that? Think like a woman and act like a woman. That's a correct statement. Don't fool black women into thinking. See, the reason, I'm just going to make a small thing about this issue, man. Black women are being lied to in the United States. Black women, and the shocking part of black women is that majority of them tend not to have no clue or no idea how men works, how the world is. Pretty much a lot of black American women, they don't know how the world operates. Whether it's because they've got these lives, they live in the ghetto in America, ghettos or whatever, I don't know. But the issue in terms of relationship, they're not aware that men, you see, when you teach a woman to act like a man and think like a woman, you are not teaching the woman how men operate. And it's important to teach a woman how men operate than to fool women to behave in a certain way. Tell women that men operate this way. Don't tell them these fantasy things. They are black women here in America. This is the fantasies a lot of black American women are told by religious leaders like preachers like T.D. Jakes and some of these talk show hosts like Steve Harvey. I mean, they give women a lot of fantasy statements just to make them happy and live that's just to make women happy and feel a certain way. They're not honest with women. Most of the time when I look at their videos and their talk shows and their churches and things of that nature, I can see these, they're not honest with them. They're not real with the women. These guys, they're not real with them. They tell women what women wants to hear only to make them feel good, so that maybe they come back or something like that. They're not teaching a woman how men operates, how modern men are operating, and why women will end up becoming losers ultimately. Now, black women in America are being fooled a lot of the times. Why they are going to end up single is because a lot of black women are being fooled. Black women are being fooled that you need to chase higher quality men. And the issue of the psychology and the mentality of a lot of black women, they're sick-minded. Why I say a lot of black women in America are sick-minded? They're not being trained about how men operate. They're not being told the truth about men. They're being told fantasies about how men view them. Look, if you're a black woman, you need to listen to me now. Look, men don't care about your job. Men, modern men, rich or poor, billionaire or trillionaire, they don't care about your job. They don't care about how you look. They do, in percentage. Men don't care about your education. They don't care about your job. They don't care about your status. They don't care about whether you have got $1 million in your account or $100 billion in your account. Men do not care. In terms of women, you need to know something about men. What these guys, T.D. Jakes and Steve Harvey, are telling you, it's all fantasy. They're not being open with you. They're zero not being open. They're not telling you how men function. They're not telling you that. Act like a man, think like a man and act like a lady. No. The correct is think like a lady, act like a lady. That's the correct statement. What they're not telling you is how men operate. Like I said, Men don't care about your educational status. They don't care about your job. They don't care about your economic status. They don't care whether you have got $1 in your account or $100 billion into your account. When it comes to males, they don't care about these things. When a man is looking at a woman, they do not care. A lot of the reasons why black women in America are going to end up single is called they're being trained to be single. But the reason why black American women are going to end up single and lonely and miserable straight into their 40s is because many have been preached a lot of fantasies by these guys I've just mentioned. A lot of fantasies. You're not being told how a man operates. Like I say, you're not being told the truth of men. Men care less about your job. They don't care. You understand? If you think, oh, I want a lot of men are being told you need to go for higher quality men. You have to think of yourself, what is a higher quality man? Ask yourself, ask a black woman in America, what is a higher quality man? Many of them, here's what they're going to think. Some of them are going to think he has to be white. Higher quality men. Some of these black women are going to think the guy has to be white. That's why they think higher quality men. Or they might think a guy is to be white, or the guy is to have a yacht, a mansion, a Lamborghini, millions of dollars into the account, $100 billion into the account, wearing suits, driving Lamborghini, Maserati, and limo, what they call Bentleys and things of that nature, and with millions of cash into their account. This is the so-called higher quality men or males. Illusion women are being given to chase these males. This is what a lot of, we call these males the 1%. You understand? These 1% males do not think of women in terms of their profession. They don't care about your profession. They don't care about your education. So when women are being told how you need to chase the higher quality males, and this is the definition of a higher quality man, women are being trained to think a guy has to be a millionaire, house, their own house, cars, jobs, 6 figures and above. All these things, these fantasies, black women are being told that this is a higher quality male. Here's what they fail to tell you. How do these higher quality males, or so-called higher quality, because let me be honest to women. If you have been told fantasies about a billionaire, multimillionaire, guys with yachts, mansions, this and that, cars, limousine, Bentleys, Lamborghini, all this, if this is the image that this is the so-called higher quality man or higher quality males, higher quality men, if this is the definition of higher quality men, you have been told, you have been lied. You have been lied. Not 100%, 1,000,000%. What they fail to tell you is how these types of males think about you. That is what, see, relationship is about 2 people, not 1. When these guys like Steve and the TD Jakes were teaching black women, aim high, aim this, they're telling you to aim this type of males. And what they fail to tell you is, how does these males see women? How do these women think about women? Think about you. In this case, let me talk about you, especially black women. These guys don't tell you how these guys think about you. See, how does the guys with yachts, Lamborghinis, houses, mansion, driving Lamborghinis, and this sort of thing, how do they think of you, black women? How do they think about a black woman? See, let me be honest with you, black women. Let me be honest with you. You are not being trained about how these men like this I've just mentioned, how do these types of men think about women? How do they think about a woman? Think of it. Let me say to you, I've got $5 billion in my account and I've got yachts and mansion. Do you really think I'm thinking of a woman or a black woman with that kind of money? Not only a woman. What do you really think guys with this type of cash money truly think? You have to think, how do these males, remember, these males, they don't reach that stage single. They don't reach that stage thinking about a female. And guys with that type of money and those type of lifestyle, you need to ask yourself, why are they single? And one thing you need to ask yourself is your status. Why will they need you? Knowing that they can get any woman from on the planet Earth, from Ukraine to Russia, Poland, Asia, China, Thailand, they can get any hottest girl they want on a fingernail. They can get a woman. Guys with this type of lifestyle. What makes you think they're thinking about you? What makes you think these guys, knowing that this is the status they have, what makes you think they're going to value you? See, a lot of women are trained that these are successful males, and if a guy is got a yacht, mansion, and things, why is he single when they are in a status? They're in a status of which they can get any woman they like. They can get any girl they like, any hot girl model they like. And a lot of black women are trained to chase these things, to chase these guys, these people. In your mind and your illusion, you have been told since you were 13 years by your preacher, your so-called preachers, that aim high, aim this. These guys are not the star. You say this guy with a mansion, these are successful males. Who told you that these males somehow think of you? Who told you that these types of males are thinking of you? One thing I mentioned before, men don't care. I mentioned before to black women, men don't care about your profession. They don't care about what you have. They don't care. When it comes to women, men are not interested with what you have, your job, your status, your college, diplomas, certificates, whatever educational field you have. A guy does not care. Whether a guy is a billionaire, an oil tycoon, whatever, they care less about that. What makes you think? See, a lot of black females have been fooled, man. What makes you think these type of guys think of you? They can get any woman on planet. Man, they can get any woman they want on planet. And what makes you woman think of your educational or your job status, whatever you have? What makes you think? Because these are the type of males a lot of black women have been told. You understand? These are type of women. A lot of women are being trained to chase instead of training women how these men operate and how they really feel about you. Men don't care about your woman's status. Look at Tiger Woods. Guy, a lot of money. They can marry a Swedish nanny. When it comes to women, men care less about your woman's status, finances, financial, anything like that doesn't work on men. These type of men with this type of status, they're not looking at you. They're not thinking, oh my God, I want a black woman with a good job, a 6-figure. Men don't think like that. A man can leave a woman with a higher paying job, with a 6-figure paying job. A man can leave a woman with $500 million in their account and cheat with a hot young lady with nothing on the street. Rich guys, the guys you have been trained to go after, they can leave you with the $500 million in your account and cheat on you with a hot girl chick, with a hot girl on the street with nothing. This is how men, when it comes to women, you need to know how men are and how they see women and how they operate. Men care less about a woman's status. When it comes to women, in fact, when it comes to women, the beautiful and less professional the woman is, the attractive the woman is to a man. And I'm talking about women. The only thing which matters to a man, whether a guy is poor or a billionaire, the only thing which matters to them is a woman is to be pretty looking to themselves. A woman is to be pretty looking, hot looking, and that's it. Any other status of a woman, men care less about that. We don't care. Pretty much a woman's financial status, a woman's educational status, a woman's college status or employment status means nothing to a man. Both poor men or billionaires means nothing. This is why it's easy for a man to leave a woman, whether a woman has got a 900 million. Men can cheat on that woman with a street slut on the street, or even with a prostitute. They can live there. And you ask them because the prostitute there was pretty looking. Men care less. Women are the ones who look at a man's financial status. We don't operate the same. So when women are being trained, like these black women in America are being trained that I need a higher quality man, you have never been told about how the so-called higher quality males think about you. You've never been told that. See, people have never been honest to women and say, women, stop chasing these type of men. These type of men are not thinking like that about you. When someone is telling you to chase a billionaire, if you ever asked a billionaire what they think of you, what billionaires think of women, ask any so-called higher quality males, your illusion of a higher quality males, go and ask them and see what type of females they like. You will be shocked. You will be shocked. None of them will say, well, I want a higher professional female. I want a woman with a Lamborghini. I want a woman with a mansion. None of them will mention that. 99% of men, whether poor or rich, will mention a girl has to be hot. She has to be pretty looking. She has to be like this physically. They're not interested in your status, your finance, your anything of a professional, any external factor a woman has. Men don't care. So when women are being told you need to chase these so-called higher quality men, you need to think, when a man thinks of a higher quality woman, it's a specifically physical. That's it. All men, rich or poor, billionaires, zillionaires, whatever you term you want to use, they just think of a woman in terms of, is she hot and beautiful looking, and that's it. The same way a homeless man thinks, it's the same way a billionaire thinks when it comes to women. And guess what? We do the same thing. Physically, a homeless man and a billionaire, we think the same way when it comes to women. We eat the same way, we deal with women same. We care less about a woman's financial status. See, a woman's financial status or educational status or employment status means nothing to a man, rich or poor. Whether a guy is rich or he's a trillionaire, means nothing. Anything a woman does, what she has, means nothing. Guys can cheat on a woman with huge estate, whether you own 10 estates with whatever money. Guys can leave you for a pretty hot slut on the street. Guys would, even rich males would rather even marry a nanny, a hot looking nanny, than a rich billionaire female. they would rather go for a hot looking lady. All guys, whether they're rich or poor, they go for the same thing. Both guys. If you take a hot looking lady, go say certain things to a homeless man, he's going to pick the hot looking chick and take the same picture, give it to a billionaire. They both say, yeah, we go for her. And if you put a picture of a woman who is average, but with $100 million in their account or $500 million in their account, still guys will hit on a poor girl who's hotter than the rich girl. All of them will say, well, men, this is how men operate. This is why a woman's success means nothing in terms of men's relationship. A woman's success means completely zero when it comes to marriage. Men care less, because when we're looking at women, we look at women physically. Is she beautiful enough for my children? That's it. To have my children. That's all. That's what matters. Can I enjoy this woman physically? They don't care about their status and things, or employment, or anything of that status. Men care less about that. You understand what I'm saying to you? A lot of black women in America have been lied to. Higher quality males. I'm looking for a higher quality man. No. There is nothing called a higher quality man. There is nothing called a higher quality man. The so-called higher quality men, they're not interested with the higher so-called when a man is a higher quality man and a lower quality man, both of them hit on the same female. Men operate the same. Doesn't matter whether you've got $400 billion in your account and someone has got $1 in their account. They operate the same. Both of them go for the same chick. Both of them do the same thing. Both of them will love the same chick. It means nothing. In terms of choosing and be with, they'll go hit on the same chick. But in terms of a woman's status, financial, it means nothing to a man. See, a woman's financial status is not going to appeal to a man to want to be with that woman. No. Men go for physical, straight up. How pretty and hot does she look? That's what they go for. All of them, whether they're rich or poor. So when a woman is being trained that a higher quality man, you need to go for these higher so-called, I don't want to use the word higher quality men. These so-called higher quality men, how do they think of a female? This is where you need to go. Do they think you are a higher quality woman if you have got a good education? No. Do they think you are a higher quality female because you have got a good employment? No. Do they think you are a higher quality female because you work in a good job? No. Or you're highly paid? No. Or you are a 6-figure, 7-figure salary lady? No. Men's love of a woman is not based on that. Zero. These rich, so-called rich males, a lot of women are looking up to. Do they think of you as a higher quality female because you've got a lot of money? The answer is no. Zero. A billionaire with $4 billion in their account, they're considered higher quality males. Is a woman with $1 billion or $2 billion in their account considered higher quality females by these males? The answer is absolutely not. Zero. No. Men care less about a woman's financial status. The status of a female's finance means nothing to a man. See, women are not being told about this. You are being told to chase a man, but you are not being told about, you are being told to chase these so-called higher quality males, but you are never ever being told, do these so-called higher quality males see you as a higher quality female? Do these types of men see you as a higher quality female? The answer is absolutely zero. Not. Nada. Nothing. They don't see you like that. You can say to a man, I've got $300 million in my account, let me chase a billionaire. You really think a billionaire is going to look at your financial status and think, let me put this young lady as a higher quality female? Do you really think guys do that? Guys don't. No. We don't operate like that. We don't. You can go in a strip club and see how guys see women. That's the way we see them physically in real life. The same thing we see in strip club. That's the same way a billionaire is going to view them. That's the same way a trillionaire is going to see women like that. They are not interested in your financial status. Zero. It's not the same. So don't waste your time chasing the so-called higher quality males. In your illusion, you consider this guy, because a guy has got $5 billion in their account. Somehow, if you got $1 billion in your account as a woman, you are still not a higher quality female to them. Even if a guy has got $10 million and a woman has got $1 billion in their account, and a good-looking guy has got $10 million in their account, and and a woman has got $1 billion in their account, still that guy with the 10 million is not going to see the woman with 1 billion as a higher quality female. It's not going to. It does not work like that when it comes to men. Zero. We don't operate like that. We don't. A man can cheat on that woman with 1 billion, with a stripper on the street. They can leave. They can leave that woman for a nanny. We can leave that woman for a hot nanny on the street, a hot stripper on the street. That's because men, when it comes to looking at women, we are not interested with women's status. Men go straight physically, and they stick on physically for anything men do visually. That's it. Physical. That's it. Throughout our life. Anything a woman does thinking that you're going to impress a man, you're wasting your time. You are wasting your time, because men are not interested with a woman's financial status. Zero. It's all physical, and that's it. Same thing you see in strip clubs. That's it. That's pretty much the jackpot for them. That's why, even if you go to go to the Middle East and see all those rich oil guys there, they're not gonna look at a woman. I want to look at your educational status. They're not interested in that. Any man, whether they put $2 billion in their account, $300 billion in their account, look at the females they go to. A female is just have to be pretty looking. She just have to be hot and cute. That's what they go to. That's it. They don't look at the status of the female. She just have to be fine looking, and that's all. That's what they go for. She's fine looking. That woman becomes a higher quality female to them. You see, this is the teachings a lot of black women in America are not being told. They're being fooled and given fantasies, only to find themselves close to 40 years single, because they're not being told the truth about how men function. Every time you think you're chasing a higher quality man, think of yourself. Are these so... the word higher quality men really is the worst, sickest word, because these type of men think the same way as a so-called lower quality men. We think the same. This is why men, we don't change. Whether I've got $2 million in my account, or 200 million in my account, or 200 billion in my account, I still operate the same way as a homeless guy on the street. When it comes to women, we think the same way. So don't be fooled, women, especially black women in America, don't be fooled by thinking you are chasing this so-called... You're going to find yourself single into your 40s and 50s, lonely and miserable, because you're chasing these fantasies without thinking. These so-called fantasy males, how do they think about you? That is where you need to think. How do they... Don't chase someone. You need to think, how does this person I'm chasing think about me? That is more important than what you think about them. Because if you think a so-called higher quality man is thinking about you as a higher quality female because you have got a kind of some cash in your account, you're wasting your time. You are wasting your time. Men do not operate like that. We don't. We don't. For us, it's physical looks, and that's it. We specialize in it. A man would rather marry a poor, hot-looking lady than a so-called rich, hideous looking woman with a profession. Even if a woman is good, look, a man would rather marry a young, good looking, pretty looking, hot young lady on the street with nothing. That's how men operate, with nothing, than a woman with $200 billion in their account. A man would rather cheat with that. A rich man would cheat with that stripper or that woman with nothing. In terms of, when it comes to women, men are not interested in women's status, like I said before. Men can leave a rich woman for a poor hot lady. That's how men are. Men can leave a rich, filthy, rich woman for a hot young lady on the street, or for a hot looking woman on the street. Men can leave a filthy rich. When I'm talking filthy rich, I'm talking you could have 2 billion in your account. Still, a man can leave you and go and cheat with a woman with nothing. Because men, when it comes to women, we don't think like women. No, we don't think of women's financial status. It doesn't appeal to us. What appeals to us is more physical. It's how fine this female. That's all. That's what matters to men. In fact, that's the most important thing. Especially women who are being trained to chasing into their illusion a higher quality man. I'm chasing a higher quality man. See, women who are told these fantasies are never told how these males think about them. They're never told. In fact, one thing I want to tell you about the so-called higher quality men, there is nothing called the higher quality men as far as men are concerned. We don't look at each other like that. Zero. Men don't look at each other as higher quality men. No matter how you think about a man as a higher quality, guess what? Both men will act as nasty as they are towards you physically. If you think that a rich guy with a lot of money, he's somehow going to treat you like a piece of cake, think again. We both operate the same. No changes. A lion in the zoo and the lion in the jungle, they both kill the same. It doesn't matter whether the lion in the zoo is being fed. It means nothing when it comes to men. When it comes to men, it means nothing. This is why I look at women and think someone is fooling women in America. They're telling women that somehow a guy is a billionaire simply because a guy is a billionaire. He's somehow going to grab a woman's booty like a piece of cake. It doesn't. Well, no. A lion is a lion. They're going to, they're going to rip the pieces of meat the same way. So don't ever go there. You understand? We both enjoy the same. We use the same formulas, same tactics. Everything the other guy does is the same thing I do. So don't ever think it doesn't operate like that when it comes to men. It doesn't. In fact, if you think a guy has got a $200 billion in their account, somehow they're going to treat you like a piece of cake, think again. They're going to be 10 times more nastier to you. That a homeless person, you'd think, I can't believe that is. Women need to be, ladies, when it comes to men, look, it doesn't matter whether a lion lives in the zoo being fed or a lion lives in the jungle. They both kill the same. They both enjoy the meal same way, same tactics, using the same formula. So don't ever go there. So-called higher quality men, a higher quality. Who told you that if a man has got a lot of money, somehow we change the way we operate, we become higher quality males? Now I've got $200 billion in my account, I'm a higher quality male. Who told you that? Who told you that? You think having money is going to change a man the way we enjoy the booties and shit like that? See, women needs to be trained. We don't, that's not what, men don't do that. Don't think simply our accounts will change our behavior. No. Our bank accounts will never change our behavior. Never, zero. A lion living in the zoo is still as dangerous as a lion living in the jungle. We don't change our behavior. We don't change the way we treat women based on money status. You're fooling yourself if you think that. Don't be fooled that a man will change the way they treat women because of their financial status. No. Our finance status, the finance status of a man is just a means of getting a woman. That's all. It's just a means of getting a woman. That's all. What we will do to those women will be determined by what our mindset, not our money. Our money means nothing. Men don't look at their money and think, I've got $200 billion in my account. That means I need to be nicer. That means I need to be a little bit, treat a woman like a piece of cake. No. It doesn't work like that. Our money doesn't do anything. It won't change our behavior. Zero. So don't waste your time looking at a man like he's something, a man is a man. Our finance status doesn't change the way we treat women. Zero. Don't look at a man as a higher quality. Who told you that? Higher quality man. A higher quality man is to have a Lamborghini, a mansion, a Benz, BMW, Bentley, Rolls Royce. Who told you Maserati, Bentley, Rolls Royce, these, and a mansion and an estate? Who told you that means we become, suddenly because we own this possession, now we're higher quality men? Now our brains are going to change because we've got these type of things? You think these type of things will change the way we think or the way we treat women? Nothing is going to change. Zero. Nothing will change in the terms of the way we see women and the way we treat them. That is not going to change because of this status of things. So don't fool yourself and think simply because a guy has acquired these type of things will physically change the man's brain. We men do not operate like that. We don't operate like that. So these preachers and these people who talk on the TV, like this guy Steve and TD Jakes, a lot of these people who put a lot of fantasies on women without telling a woman the truth. Like no, a guy doesn't think like that. A guy will go for a booty where any booty around them, they will go after it. So never look at a guy like that. You need to train a woman the truth. Don't fool a woman that chase this type of guy somehow, because a guy's status means nothing when it comes to women. And women's status doesn't make men love them. Women's financial status, job or whatever, doesn't change zero to us. So we need to be honest with women. We need to tell women to be decent. We need to tell women that men will look at women. When a man like a woman is to be fine. That's it. I don't care whether a woman has got a... I'm not interested. When it comes to women, men are not interested with women's status. Money, job, employment, whatever. When it comes to women, you just have to be fine looking. It's your character and your beauty. That's all. That's what matters to males. Whether a guy is rich or poor, that's what matters to men. We need to tell women the truth. Women are not being told the truth, particularly black women. Because you are the one who spend a lot of time sitting in your churches, being preached lies after lies, chasing these type of men, thinking somehow no one is telling you. You have to ask yourself, how do these men see you? You'll be shocked when these men open the mouth, the so-called millionaires and billionaires. Ask yourself how they see you. 9 out of 10 like a piece of meat. 9, I'm being brutally honest with you. They see you like a piece of meat, like a chunk. Something they can take and chuck you out. Use and chuck you out. If you only know this is how men really see you, whether they're rich or poor, you will gain something here. Your mentality will change. Because a lot of females will end up miserable, especially a lot of black women, because in their minds they're not being told the truth. If you say, I'm looking for a man, you must say, I want a guy who's honest. You understand? I want a guy who's honest with me. Don't say you want a guy with 6 figures. Me having 6 figures, that is not going to change the way I'm going to treat you. It's not going to make me faithful to you. So you have to think Don't look at a guy has to have an estate, a Lamborghini, a Rolls Royce, a Bentley. This is not going to change the way they treat you. In fact, the more they have this, the worse it will be on you. Because guys, this type of possession means nothing when they're looking at a woman. You need to look at the way they look at women. How do men view women? So don't look at men's status, having finance and money, wealth, and think that means we are a higher quality man. What happens if a man has got an estate, 3 Lamborghinis, 5 mansions, many houses, whatever you want, and with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in their account? Then they take you. Then they say, well, you know what? I'm not into being with you. I'm not into marrying you. You think all this status was going to make them behave nice. See, this is what a lot of women have got this so-called, a gold digging mentality when it comes to men. A lot of women, especially in America, you've got this type of a gold digging mentality that a guy has to behave this. And so you chase possession instead of looking at a person, how they see you. Because how they see you is going to determine how they're going to treat you, and the ultimate outcome, what is going to happen to you. Don't think simply because a man's wealth is going to change the way they treat you. Oh, I want a man, he must have his own houses. He must have 3 houses, 4 houses, a mansion. I've seen a lot of black women talking about he must be living in a mansion. A guy must be having Bentley, Lamborghini, 6-figure salary. Who told you? Why didn't you say a guy is to be honest, trustworthy? You think owning these things is going to change? Is going to make a guy like you? A guy can own everything you like. A guy can own everything you like and sleep with you today. Tomorrow he can tell you, you know what? It's over. You're through. You're not my type. What are you going to do? What's going to happen? They can send a text on you. Sleep with you in a mansion, in a huge mansion with swimming pool and all the stuff. Sleep with you. 3 days later, they can text you, sweetheart, listen to me. It's over. I'm not into you. Then what? I've got my wife in a different nation. What are you going to do? Because things you were asking, you wanted a possession. You didn't ask someone that they need to be honest to you, that a person is to be trustworthy, that you need to trust a person. They must be honest with you. They must be trustworthy with you, honest with you. There must be good communication with you. You didn't ask things which matters. You ask for possession. This is what women do. I want a man. What is a higher quality man? What if a person is a serial killer and still living in estate? Because you demand possession, not a type of a person. This is why a lot of women sometimes end up dead. Because they're not dealing with a person, they're dealing with a person's possession. And then you realize a guy living in an estate, he lives by himself, or he's a serial killer or a drug dealer or someone bad. Because women find themselves in this kind of situation. Because in the minds of women, they're chasing certain things which they've been told over the years. This is a higher quality man. What if you chase a guy with millions or millions of dollars and then you find out the guy is a drug lord? And this is the type of people you are chasing. You didn't chase a real man. You are chasing possession. And then now you find yourself, you're in trouble. This is why women end up losing. And sometimes end up losing and end up single and miserable. Because you are being told constantly fantasies after fantasies. You are being taught fantasies. Higher quality man. He must have a suit, a Lamborghini. You are being preached about fantasies, giving you false hope about with these American preachers. And guys like Steve. Giving you these false preachers. Think like a man. No. Think like a man. No. Think like a woman. Behave like a woman. Stick to your own gender. That's a good teaching. A man should think like a man. A woman think like a woman and stick to your gender. Act like a woman and think like a woman. Don't ever say think like a buffalo and act like a kangaroo. Completely you're twisting the minds of women. This is why women end up messed up in their brains. A lot of them, especially in America. Women find themselves miserable. Why is that relationship is not working? Why is that my social life is miserable? Because you have been taught lies all along. And as a result, you have been chasing fantasies, unrealistic. If someone is going to be realistic with you, they'll train you how men operate, what men think about you. The moment a woman is told, listen, sweetheart, a guy really doesn't care about a woman's finances. A guy is interested in your body. Suddenly women will wake up after knowing, really? This is how men think about us? They're not interested in you, everything you do. They're just interested in your body, and that's it. And a woman is going to think, and men are the same. Men don't never ever think a guy's finance means anything in terms of the way they think or the way they deal with women. And never ever call a man a higher status, a higher quality man because of money. Never ever fool yourself simply because a guy has got a lot of money in their bank account and suddenly they should be declared higher quality males because we've got estate, Lamborghinis, Rolls Royce and Maserati. Suddenly we're higher quality males now? You have to be careful, women. You have to be careful. A man's financial status does not necessarily mean he should be considered a high quality man. No. He could be still nasty and dangerous. Women are not being told about the nature of men and how men think about women. You're not being told that. You're being told that a man's possession should be declared a high quality man simply because of his possession. A serial killer can have a Maserati and a Lamborghini. A murderer, a pedophile can have everything like that. You understand? A gangbanger, a drug lord, a drug dealer, they can own these things. So if you are not being told the honesty of nature of men, and you are being told that this possession should immediately mean we are now higher quality men because we own these properties and things like that, that should declare we're good human beings. No. See, this is why women end up getting hurt. A lot of them. Because they're not being, people who preach women these fantasies are not being honest with women. They're not being honest, especially people, guys like T.D. Jakes and Steve and things like that in America. They're not being honest with women. They need to tell women the way a man functions, the true nature of a man, and how men see women, what men think about women, and what men think about women. Whether men are rich, a man, whether he's rich or poor, it means nothing. They think the same way when it comes to women. We think the same way. So don't never ever call a man a higher quality man. Higher quality man. No. A higher quality woman is there, but not a higher quality man. No. In terms of the way men think about women and the way they treat men, women is the same. A rich billionaire can treat you like garbage. Billionaire can treat you like garbage. A drug dealer can treat you like garbage. A gangbanger, a drug lord can treat you like garbage. You see what I'm saying? They can treat you horrible. Their money means nothing. So don't aim for these things. Women must be trained how guys operate and how guys think. You understand what I'm saying to you? A lot of black women have been told too many fantasies. Too many fantasies about men. And too much wrong use of the word higher quality men. It's nothing like that. Zero. You understand me? Zero. Think of if you are a religious person, do you think there's a man in the world who Jesus would declare higher quality man? If Jesus was here, I'm not a religious person. Do you think there's a man on earth today who can be declared a higher quality man by Jesus himself? No, none. This is why the story of what the story was studying the other time. There was a story of I think it is a religious story. The story of Peter in the Bible, one of the Jesus Christ's disciples. There was a prostitute who came in and kissed Jesus' foot. A lot of his disciples were disappointed by that. They didn't like that act that a prostitute came in, knelt down and kissed Jesus' foot. Kissed Jesus' foot. And the disciples were disappointed. They didn't like that kind of thing. And guess what happened? Jesus knew how men are. Because Jesus knew how men were designed. Jesus knew how men was designed. And what did Jesus say to these men? He told them straight out, none of these males are good. Most of these men are dirty. All of them, they were told, if you are really clean, you can go ahead and cast the stone to the prostitute. And all these men knew that behind closed doors, they're as dirty, as filthy as you can ever imagine. Both of these disciples, behind closed doors, they pretty much relied on the same prostitute they are disowning in front of Jesus Christ. And Jesus was honest with them because he knew how the mind of a man operates. Any man who's really clean here should cast the first stone and go ahead and beat this prostitute. And both of these men knew that Jesus was telling them the truth. That if you think you are that clean, go ahead and cast the first stone. Jesus knew how these men are. That behind closed doors, all these men are filthy, as disgusting, as horrible as anything can be. They are filthy and disgusting, and these men pretty much rely on this prostitute to get their relieving, their physical relief behind closed doors. But in front of the crowd and Jesus, they will be like, whoa, we need to stone this prostitute. But Jesus knew how a man operated, and he told them straight out, none of you disciples are clean here. You are all as nasty as anybody else. None of you are clean here. You are all as thuggish as everybody else. You are all as nasty as everybody else. You are all as you are nothing, because Jesus was 100% honest. Jesus was not the type of a person to take bribes. You understand? Because he knew how a man operated here. And the prostitute was saved. The prostitute actually felt good after that, because the prostitute, after listening to Jesus, like, yo, none of you guys, disciples here, are clean here. You are pretty much as nasty as anything behind closed doors. You are not going to come in front of the crowd and portray yourself as clean. This is why Judas was told, and Peter, both of these guys were told in advance, none of you are clean. Judas Iscariot was warned, you are a sellout. You're not as clean, and he was shocked because he knew in advance how men are scandalous and how human beings are pretty much in general. You know what I'm saying? It's not what they are portrayed as to be. So in this picture, I've just given my piece. And with that said, I'll do another video. If anyone wants any information, discussion, please subscribe, and we can take this thing further. With that in mind, I would say adios. Ladies, don't be fooled by the preachings and the teachings of these men. They're not being honest with you. You understand what I'm saying to you? They are not being honest. If they're not telling you the true nature of men, don't be fooled of the guy's financial status. It's the person you're dealing with. Remember, it's the person you're dealing with. It's not the financial position they have. It's the person in the mirror, what you are dealing with, and that is going to lead to do or die decisions when you're dealing with a human being, especially males. It's what you see, not what they have, not their financial status, and never ever in your life call a man a higher quality man because of their financial status or their employment status or their whatever wealth they have accumulated on this planet. Never ever call a man a higher quality man. Especially a lot of you black females. You are the ones who have been preached this type of garbage. Never ever call a man a higher quality man. It does not operate like that. Okay? You don't know him. Never ever call a man's financial status higher quality man. Never call a man's financial status as a higher quality man. Never ever look at a man's financial status and as a higher quality man. Never ever look at a man's financial status, economic status, employment status, and then call a man a higher quality because he has got so much wealth. He must be higher quality. You're fooling yourself. You don't know him. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, this is what I say to women, particularly black women. And you are the ones with a lot of illusion mindset because you have been preached this for so many years. With that, I've already told you, there is nothing called a higher quality man on this planet. Nothing. You understand me? Nobody is worth to be called a higher quality man on this planet. Nobody, zero. If you have got that mindset of calling a man a higher quality man, think again. There is nothing like that. Jesus said so, not me. Jesus couldn't say so to his disciples. You understand what I'm saying to you? He didn't call his own disciples higher quality men. He didn't. So you don't. You understand what I'm saying? With that in mind, goodbye.